Now, there are certain things that we can do to be in control of our client. And that starts from the first 4 minutes that the client sees us, the moment we walk in the door. So when you have an appointment with the client and they send you back to his office, rule number 1 is don't knock on the client's door when it's open. Just walk in. I remember a client once told me after several years that he remembered the very first time that he met me. He said, I walked in like I owned the place. I want to mention, too, that that client was sold on first call. It gives the client confidence in you and confidence in your advice and your ideas. I remember that call because it was an eyeglass laboratory. And when I came in and asked for the owner, they said he was in the back, in the lab. So I just went on back and started talking to him. From the very first moment that you meet him, you must appear confident. Number 2, you've got to walk with confidence. You've got to have good posture, stand up tall, and give the impression of someone that knows what they're doing. Number 3, you walk a little faster than normal. And number 4, you should speak first if you can. That also puts you in control. Number 5, it's very important to have a firm handshake. When people shake hands with someone that has sort of a limp fish handshake, they think, what a wimp. I wouldn't trust this person or his ideas. When they shake hands with someone with a firm handshake, it gives the thought, this person knows what they're doing, and I can listen to their advice. Another good tip is when you put your hand out, put your hand with the palm down so that when you shake hands with that person, your hand is on top. This is just another subtle technique that puts you in control of that client. A lot of these things may sound kind of strange, but I advise you to try them. I remember several years ago when I had a manager tell us, put your hand out, palm down, so that when you shake hands, your hand's on top. I didn't believe him, but he was sort of watched us and made us do it. And sure enough, that person was easier to close, and my sales went up. Then I tried dropping it, and I didn't have as high a closing ratio. So all these subtle things are very important. Number 6, don't wait to be asked to be seated. When you go into the room, look for the best spot for you to sit and just sit down. I was training a company in L.A. that had very weak salespeople. During the sales training sessions, they complained that sales techniques wouldn't work with their clients. They complained that if you tried to close the client on a call, the client would get mad. So when I talked to the owner, I told him, why don't I make calls with your salespeople? And when I made the calls, I walked into the room, found the seat, sat down, and started to talk to all the clients. Do you know that the salespeople actually thought it was rude? And I said, what do you mean? And they said, no, you should wait until the client asks you to sit down. The funny thing was, though, that day we called on 4 clients, and we sold all 4. Clients do not perceive it as rude. They perceive it as confident.